True healing begins after acceptance. We live in an era now where on one hand, there's a lot of toxicity that is encouraged and celebrated as culture even. And then on the other hand, there's like a toxic positivity that exists. You know, you hear a lot about manifesting and affirmations and speaking life over yourself, but it's often emphasized in a way that actually removes you from your reality. In essence, it's just another version of the fake it till you make it mentality. It's one thing to not let your circumstance define you. It's another thing to act like your circumstance does not exist. If you are living in poverty, for example, you can't just wake up every day and say, I am rich, I am wealthy. Unless you're trying to say that you're rich and wealthy in other ways besides finances. You know, if you want to talk about of life and, you know, of love and all those other things, yes. But I mean, like actual poverty and actual money, you can't just say I am rich, I am wealthy every day and think that that's what will change your situation or that's what will make what you're saying your reality as opposed to the reality that you're living in. You have to actually first accept I am living in poverty. And for me to get out of poverty, I have to look at, okay, how did I end up here? Is it a mismanagement of funds? Is it that poverty is imposed onto people systematically, you know, through oppression? What exactly has me in this circumstance? And what actions can I take towards changing that? Is it something I can solve by myself? Is it something that requires a collective to change? The same way, using myself as an example, I have a lot of health complications. I was born with Sickle Cell Disease, SS specifically. I can't just say I am healthy every day and think that that's what's going to make what I'm currently experiencing not exist anymore. I have to accept that I deal with a lot of health issues. I have to accept that I have a lot of health complications. And if I want to be stronger, if I want to have better health to the extent that I can control it, right? Because it's not something that you totally have control over, health in general, sickle cell disease in particular. I have to accept that I don't have the best health. And this is how I can begin to do what's necessary to heal. I can start eating better. I can start exercising. I can start watching who I'm surrounding myself with and make sure that I have people who, when I'm not feeling my best, can pour into me and, you know, give me more motivation or a boost that I can't find within myself. Because the other thing about toxic positivity, if I wake up every day and I say, I'm healthy, I'm fine, I don't have any health issues, everything is going just great. And then I look and I see a bunch of medicine that I take every day. Why do I have a bunch of medicine there if I'm healthy and I'm fine and nothing's wrong? It doesn't make sense, right? And then what can happen? I can throw all of that medicine away. Or I can stop doing all the remedies that come from my culture, that come from, you know, Haitian culture, African culture. I can stop doing those too because nothing's wrong. So why do I have to, you know, drink this tea or, you know, eat this particular vegetable Why do I have to do any of this? Because there's nothing wrong. And then what? I put myself in a situation that's worse than what it currently is. Why? All because I could not accept that I have something that I need to heal from. So true healing can only begin after accepting the situation, that this is the situation that you're in. Healing is not something that has an exact destination. Healed, Healed. Like I've reached where I needed to reach from this situation. You're always healing. Healing is continuous. In life, we're always healing from the various, experiences that we're having, from, the multitude of traumatic events, that we're facing and that we have to overcome. So you are actually always healing. But even from something exact, you're never really healed from it. For example, I had a total hip replacement in 2019 of my left hip. I started having issues with this hip as early as 2005. Complications due to Sickle Cell Disease, to be specific, a vascular necrosis. So I had a first surgery in 2005. I was 14 years old, knowing that eventually in the future, when I was old enough, I would have to have a hip replacement. Fast forward to 2019, 28 years old, they were preferring that I would be at least 30, but it couldn't go, beyond that point. I had a total hip replacement. Since then, some people will say I've healed from that, right? I did a number of months of physical therapy twice a week for 6 to 8 months. When I walk, I'm able to move around just fine. But from time to time, definitely not as much as when I first had the surgery, just from time to time, I might wake up and I feel some discomfort. Or I might be standing too long and I feel some discomfort in the left hip more than on the right side, because I didn't have an operation on the right side. I didn't have an issue on the right side. So that's how I know, okay, it's with this hip specifically. I just experienced some level of discomfort from time to time. Why? Because I'm still healing from it, and I'm always going to be healing from it. Even if, when I have x-rays and MRIs, everything looks good, it's something that you're always recovering from. Otherwise, it would not be necessary to even follow up, to make sure that everything still looks good, to make sure that after this year or that year or this benchmark that things are still in place and looking good. None of that would have been necessary if it was possible to just be healed from it categorically. Sometimes you may go a period of time where nothing is really problematic, things are going well, you're strong, your morale is high, everything is smooth and easy, and then you have a day where it feels like you've taken a few steps back. It doesn't mean that you're unhealing or that you're unraveling, that you're spiraling back. All of that is a part of the process of the healing journey, because it's not linear and it's a continuous thing. A major part of being able to heal is accountability. That takes us right back to acceptance. Being accountable. Being accountable for the parts that you have to be accountable for. Meaning, as I said, I was born with sickle cell disease. That's not something I did to myself. That's not something I chose. That's just what happened. I can't be accountable for that. However, when I was growing up, I knew I had sickle cell. I knew I had to stay hydrated. I knew I always had to have water with me. I knew that I couldn't exert too much energy. I knew that there are certain kind of precautions I always had to take. I always have to have a jacket with me. because you also say sickle cell anemia. So there are things that I was learning, that my parents were teaching me, that doctors were teaching me, that, okay, this is how you should be moving to take care of yourself while you are dealing with this. And so if I find that, okay, I'm a child, well, I don't know, but let's say I'm a teenager and I'm not drinking as much water as I should, am I saying that I deserve to have a crisis because of that? No. But I have to be accountable that, I'm playing. I'm not serious with myself right now because I'm not drinking as much water as I should to make sure that my body stays hydrated to better prevent having a crisis, which in a certain way when you have sickle cell is inevitable anyway. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen anyway. There's nothing you can do about that. But I can take certain measures to decrease the frequency of it happening or the intensity when it does happen. There are certain things that I can do to keep myself in a more or less better place, right? So I have to be accountable for the part that I have to be accountable for. If you're healing from a situation with someone, there might still be some things you have to be accountable for. You know what? I let that thing happen for too long. I saw the red flags. I excused every single one of them. Or every time I said, you know what, I need to end this. I need to block that person. I need to leave, or I need to whatever it is. I stayed. I continued talking to this person. I continued, engaging in this. There are parts that we have to admit, what did I do to either cause it to happen or to allow it to continue, to not cut it off as early as possible. That also means I'm not taking on what's not me. The parts of it that I really had nothing to do with, that it was the circumstance, was the other person, I'm not gonna be accountable for that. I'm gonna be accountable for what I'm accountable for. And then the third part is action. What do I have to do? What are the steps I have to take? What are the measures I have to take? Who do I need to call? What do I need to look up? What do I need to read? Who do I need to talk to? What do I need to tell myself? What resources are there? What do I have to find out? What do I have to learn? What do I have to do? What do I have to eat? What do I have to drink? All of these things. What action can I take that will move me in the direction that that I want to head in, which is to take on the healing journey and to keep choosing to continue in this journey, to keep choosing day by day, okay, I can't keep drinking this thing. Every day I'm choosing not to drink this thing anymore. Every day I'm choosing to watch what I eat. Every day I'm choosing to watch who I talk to. Every day I'm choosing to decrease my interaction with this person until it doesn't exist anymore. Every day I'm choosing to take my medicine. Every day I'm choosing whatever it is that I have to choose to be on this, this healing journey. Ultimately, all of these things show that it's up to us. And a lot of conversation online or elsewhere, there is always this spiritual component attached to healing, whether it's God, the universe, higher power, higher being, most high, some kind of supernatural being or entity that people call out to or look to but really it's us. It's us. We have to be the ones to accept. We have to be the ones to be accountable. And we have to be the ones to take action if we truly want to be on a healing journey. That's all I wanted to share for now. I hope this is of help to somebody. I just encourage people to really think about this, to first understand that healing is a journey, not a destination. So reframe how you say you're healed from the situation, or you just want to heal and get it over with. If that's what you think you're going into, you have a wake-up call waiting for you. Understand that it's ongoing. And when you know that going in, then you will decrease the amount of disappointment that can come if you feel like by now I should have been at this point, or by now I should have been over it, or why is it still hurting, or why, am I still waking up some days and thinking about this. You will eliminate that because it's a journey and it's a choice. It's a choice that has many choices inside of it, and you choose it every day. That's what I wanted to share. Thank you. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Until next time. Give and go with so.